that Nnamdi Kanu has been unfairly treated. I think they have a point there, because look, you can ask yourself this question: will Nnamdi Kanu still be in detention today if he's not Igbo? There are some people who believe that perhaps no. And again, people who actually committed acts of terrorism, you are rehabilitating them. You say there are 800 of them. You say you are
de-radicalization.
De-radicalizing them. And after that, you put them back in the society. There were some allegations in the past. The military denied it anyway, that some of them were even being recruited in the military and other security forces. And yet, Nnamdi Kanu. And it is not only that the courts have ruled. The courts have ruled that this man should be set free. It is only common sense to say that this is no longer rule of law playing out now. Nnamdi Kanu, this is...
It's almost like persecution.
Not persecution only. This is political case. Nnamdi Kanu is a political detainee. He's a political prisoner. And the government has what it takes to say, let us solve this problem. They know why they are keeping him. Some people have said that by keeping him, they know that his so-called followers will continue to do what they are doing in the Southeast. They sit at home on Mondays and the level of violence. And because the people who are in power, right from Muhammadu Buhari, also want the Southeast to be destabilized as it is being destabilized today, they continue keeping him. But it doesn't make sense.
But the government, sorry to interrupt you, the government argues that IPOB is a terrorist group. They proscribe the group and they say he's responsible for a lot of insecurity in the Southeast. Do you think they have any legitimate grounds to make those allegations?
IPOB is in court. In fact, they are in Supreme Court right now, challenging that prescription and the labeling of IPOB as a terrorist group. So let the courts decide. But the truth of the matter is that if Nnamdi Kanu is not Igbo, I'm not too sure. Look.
But others will point to the case of Hamza al-Mustafa, who was detained indefinitely for almost a decade since the advent of democracy. And they will say, you know, he's not Igbo, but this happened to him.
But you know why Hamza was detained? Obasanjo became president. And Hamza al-Mustafa was the real first of Abacha that everybody saw. So it was only natural that Obasanjo, whether good or bad, would treat him the way he was treated. So his case is very different from that of Nnamdi Kanu. Why don't you let this guy go and see what it is that could be done? Look.
Let's quickly take a call and we'll come back to the conversation. We have Florence who's calling. Good morning, Florence. Thanks for calling. Please go ahead.
Good morning. Good morning. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Please go ahead.
Please, I'm very, very upset by the comment of your guest saying that if Nnamdi Kanu were not to be Igbo, I think it's ridiculous. I can't imagine myself that in this century to reduce issues to ethnicity. While I agree, that the Nnamdi Kanu problem might be to find a political solution to it. But can anyone deny the atrocities that his network committed even against fellow Igbo? A lot of people were killed in the East. Akuili's husband was murdered. Just to mention a few. Now, while I don't think it is right for bandits to be rehabilitated anywhere, I think it is most ridiculous to say that Nnamdi Kanu the trial is going the way it is going because it's Igbo. I hate to use other words, but I think that we cannot build a nation like this. And a medium such as the one you are using should not be allowed for people to make such comments. I think Nnamdi Kanu's case has been prolonged because of the way even his own lawyers handled the case. That's the thing. The way they handled it has complicated the whole issue. And therefore, the way it is now, it is to find the political situation and never to say because it's people. The law in our law books, our justice does not recognize people on the basis of ethnicity. And I think that we should never encourage such comments. We can address issues, but never encourage such comments. Thank you and have a blessed day.
Thank you very much for calling.
You have the right to feel anyhow you want to feel, Florence. I concede that to you. But the truth of the matter is that part of the problem we have in this country is that we play the ostrich by denying the obvious. Look, there were people like Sunday Igbo in this country that also agitated, and is still agitating for a Yoruba nation. Where is Sunday Igbo today? Sunday Igbo is a free man. You're talking about not doing anything. Look, the last Ohaneze president, Chief Emmanuel Iwanyanwu, died because of this same Nnamdi Kanu issue. Because he went to see Nnamdi Kanu in detention. At least the son said so. Last week, he went to see Nnamdi Kanu in DSS detention facility, and they did not allow him to drive in there. So the man had to trek a distance before getting there. And when he came back home, he started complaining of heart issues. They took him to hospital and he died. Chukwemeka Ezife was there every day. They pleaded until he died. The other old man also went to Buhari and said, please do this for me as a gift, as the last wish of an old man. Amaechi Mbazilike, and said, give this man to me. Southeast governors, many of them have said, give this man to us. We will guarantee that there will be good behavior. So why are all the terrorists that are being arrested in the north, where are they today? Where is the man who bombed what is this Catholic church in Niger State in those days? Where are they? So people may pretend, because whenever the issue is Igbo, people may pretend that it is that eye service that has kept Nigeria the way it is. Anybody who does not want to accept that there is an Igbo problem that needs to be solved, that person is telling himself lies. So
I believe we have a call from Eric in Abuja, if I'm not mistaken. Please go ahead and talk to us. Hello?
Good morning. Can you hear me?
Good morning.
Yes,
please
good
go
morning.
ahead.
Okay, my name is Henry. I'm calling from Abuja. Okay, so concerning Nnamdi Kanu's case, right? For me, I sincerely want Nnamdi Kanu to be released. But when you look at what this young man did in the past, if you look at his videos, if you watch his videos and his utterances, you wouldn't want to do that. Yes, in as much as Igbo leaders have been pleading on his behalf for him to be released, the president or whoever that is on seat as the president during Buhari or Tinubu, they will take it with a pinch of salt. They actually want the judiciary to run out whatever they need to do with him. For me, I suggest that the judiciary should expedite action in his trial. And he should allow his lawyers to do the job. Look at how he was doing in the court yesterday. How can you be in the court, you're under detention, and you're shouting the way you're really beating your own lawyer? This is the reason why Michael Ozokome said there's no more doing. The man should show restraint, calm down, and allow people who are speaking on his behalf to have it easy with the authority. Right now, the only thing that will save Nnamdi Kanu is political solution. And the Igbo leaders, Igbo and the rest of them, should keep going to the president with the governors of the Southeast to speak on his behalf, not what he was doing yesterday. That was an eyesore, what he was doing in the court yesterday. Let us condemn his action and allow his lawyers to do his job for him. And he should also show remorse in his approach to all these things. People want him to be released because we believe that it will help the security situation in the Southeast. But we also need to help the Igbos and help us speak to leaders appropriately, and we should protect his behavior. Thank you very much.
Very much, Henry from Abuja. Mr. Amaechi, I want to ask you a direct question. Do you think if Nnamdi Kanu is granted presidential amnesty today and is released for the sake of peace and, mending fences, peace will return to the Southeast and we'll stop having Monday sit-at-homes and there'll be relative calm? Remember, he had been released before and he jumped bail, he went to Kenya, and they started agitating again and saying all those things against the federal government. So what will be different this time around?
Pointing out in context that yes, he did jump bail, but the explanation, according to him, is that there was an attack on his life and his family.
Yes.
Benga, the truth of the matter is that, let me even start by saying that I'm not a fan of Nnamdi Kanu, and I'm on record to have said that I disagree with so many of the things that he said, so many of the actions that were taken by IPOB and all that. But we are looking at a situation now. What do we do? Do we need a political solution to all this? And I am saying that what needs to be done right now is a political solution. Look, IPOB has become a franchise. What is going on in the Southeast now, if you ask me, I would say it is sheer criminality. It has nothing to do with so-called
agitation for Biafra.
Agitation for Biafra. And for all you care, even if you go to Southeast today and say, okay, let there be a referendum, you may find out that Igbo people may not actually vote for an independent Biafra. Before Ojukwu died, he propagated what he called the Biafra of the mind. And the Biafra of the mind is a renaissance of the Igbo philosophy, the ethics, the ethos that have helped the Igbo people thrive.
Regardless of where you are.
Regardless of where you are. Those things are there. That is what is needed.
So what's the political solution? Would he, if he's released, will there be peace in the Southeast?
If he is released, Igbo leaders have gone to say, we can guarantee, release him to us. We will guarantee that there will be peace.
But is that not an indictment on the part of the leaders? If they're saying if you release him, there will be peace, is that also saying that the fact that he's detained is what is causing the insecurity in the Southeast? Also, bearing in mind that he has many times before now dissociated himself with the violence that is going on in the Southeast.
He has associated himself with the violence going on in the Southeast. But don't forget what I just said now, that people
are using the cover of...
As a franchise, IPOB, and the fact that he's been detained, they are using it as a cover to go into... Look, what is going on...
So whose responsibility is to take care of the criminality, like you said?
The criminality is that if he comes out today then you can no longer hide under the cover of Nnamdi Kanu being in detention and do what you do. So that when you now do it, it becomes obvious to everybody that you're on your own. You can't go out there and kill people and say it is because you are agitating for Biafra. You can't go out there and kill policemen and kill security people and say because you are agitating for Biafra. There's no decent man who will condone the level of violence we are seeing today in the Southeast, all in the name of agitating for Biafra. You don't even go out there and kill the same people you say you are fighting for their freedom. It doesn't make sense.
All right, let's quickly hold that thought and get a reaction from Dr. Olusonya, who's calling from Lagos. Good morning, Dr. Olusonya. Please go ahead.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, good morning. Can I go on?
We can hear you, Dr. Olusonya. Please go ahead.
Yeah. Okay, good morning. Good morning. Well, I've been listening to the discussion. Number one, I have to say, I agree that there is a Igbo question. Well, the Igbo question is not synonymous with Nnamdi Kanu's issue. I want to repeat, I say, I agree that there is an Igbo question that we all must look into. It's essentially political. And it's one of the deceits that we have been thrown around within ourselves. If we say, I'm not an Igbo man, I'm a proper Yoruba man, I'm a prince of my town. But I believe that we must address this Igbo question. Now, the issue of Nnamdi Kanu is in court. No precedent we want to be seen as overruling the judicial process. Let this matter go through political process, and thereafter there could be political intervention. But you can't just stop. Like one gentleman said, a lot of things have been done by this gentleman, and the conduct of this man, even within the premises of the court, does not show a man that is remorseful. People are going there to plead with you. You yourself must be remorseful, and we must allow people to say, this is a change. This is a change as a person. So that is it. Let's just separate it from the question, from the potent question of the political Igbo issue. That one we must. With that one, we even need a national conference to discuss it. Whether we want the Igbos to be convenient in this federation. That one must be addressed. But don't mix it with the guys' the problem. Let us face the judicial process, and thereafter, if the president wants to grant an amnesty, also that one is also possible. But let this process go on.
Contribution. I want us to quickly wrap up this crisis. So this conversation. Yeah, it is a crisis at this point.
Oh yes.
Yeah. So if we can quickly wrap it up, because we're reviewing the papers and we haven't been able to take any other story, and I want us to take one more story before we wrap up. So your final thoughts.
Olive, the final thought is that, yes, what Dr. Olusonya said about going the whole hog. Look, courts have given verdicts on this issue and said, because of the extraordinary rendition, it takes away from any other thing, because you can't put nothing and it stands if it is standing on nothing. Those judgments have been given before now. If they say they want to go the whole hog of saying this thing, Nnamdi Kanu has also, look, Justice Binta Iyako. I think that was 24th of September or so last year, but sometime last year, recused herself because Nnamdi Kanu said, I no longer have confidence in this court. And the judge recused herself. But they, of course, and took back the file
To the Chief Judge.
To the Chief Judge, Justice John Soho, but who in his wisdom said no, that she must continue with the case. That is where we are now. The Ding-Dong affair. Can there be a political solution even while the president has the powers to enter a null prosecute with conditions? Nobody is saying just throw Nnamdi Kanu back in the system without
following due process. Yeah.
Due process or some conditions. But people need to sit down and say, what is the best way forward? If what is going on now, hitting up the polity, if people think that's the best way to go about it, now fine and good. But for me, I think a political solution is what we need. What we need in this case is not a judicial solution. We need a political solution to the whole crisis.
All right. As quickly as we can, there are a number of other stories that of course, this seems to be the biggest story in the past 24 hours. Obasanjo, Atiku, others meeting no threat, says APC. Ruling parties unfazed as Labour Party and NNPP are divided over possible Atiku-Obasanjo collaboration ahead of next election.
And also to put some context to it, Mr. Atiku, the former vice president, came out when he was ambushed by journalists and said, look, this was not a political meeting. Do you believe that?
No, I don't. I don't. Of course, Atiku also knows that he was only trying to play some games there. The truth of the matter is that the politics of 2027 has started in full steam.
We're not even halfway done with this term.
Exactly. And you are bound to get these alignments and realignments and people going out there to do what it takes. So the visit of Atiku and his political
Leo, Imoke, Tambuwal
friends to go and see Obasanjo cannot be a private.
Maybe it's courtesy visit and tourism. You know, Abeokuta is a very beautiful place. There's Olumoro there. There's a Kuti Heritage Museum and other things.
Atiku can quietly go and see Olumoro and go back without going with Liye Lumoke, Tambuwal, Emeka Ihedioha, and all his political friends. It has to do with 2027, but let us see how it goes. The other day, the former governor of Kano State,
Kwankwaso, met with Eric Beshola, yes,
in Lagos. There was a seminar in Abuja last time where Rotimi Amaechi, Nasiri El-Rufai, Tambuwal, Atiku, all of them were there. So people are beginning to realign. I think they are aware that the only way there will be a formidable force that can face APC in 2027 is if the opposition
unites.
Forces come together. If they go individually, it is bound to fail. The issue there is that the Atiku candidacy, people still insist that he still wants to contest.
I mean, there are egos at play here. These are political juggernauts. You look at Kwankwaso, for example, Peter Obi, Atiku, everybody will say, why should it be this man? I can do it myself. When the APC came into power, there was a power behind the power in terms of Bola Tinubu didn't go at his first attempt. He pushed the Buhari, and then opposition politics is very hard to play. So how do you see, in 30 seconds, so we can quickly wrap up this conversation, how do you see all these egos and personalities coming together on a united front?
Unless they are buried. Unless they are buried. And I think that was the point Peter B was making. There must be some level of selflessness if Atiku is insisting that he must be, and Kwakwanso is insisting he must be the candidate, and Peter Obi is insisting he must be the candidate, and perhaps Rotimi Amaechi is insisting, it means we'll have 4 candidates at the end of the day, and none of them can
work to the advantage of the APC.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So the best thing for them is that while they are networking, while they are doing their national meetings, they must also begin to agree. What you said is true. In 2015, what happened? Everybody looked at who has the best chance to wrest power from a sitting government and a sitting president. And they said, look, Buhari has come up with his fabled 11 or 12 million voters that have been voting for him since God knows when. And there is also a feeling in the North that President Goodluck Jonathan, going for a second term, was against the agreement he reached.
Non-written agreement. But Mr. Amaechi, I'm so sorry. Olive needs to take what Nigerians are saying. We need to feel the pulse of the nation. Always a pleasure speaking with you. Thank you so much. I will look forward to seeing you very soon.